Ring, ring, ring! Hello, priest, and welcome back to Krown's magical Easter Bunny Cave.
That was a very enthusiastic Easter Bunny Cave now, wasn't it? Anyways, well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a lovely Friday over here from actually a reversal on the weather over here in Helsinki, Finland. We want to be wishing everyone well on this nice holiday. For all the celebrators out there, happy Good Friday to you. For all the non-celebrators, happy regular Friday. Doesn't matter what fucking day it is, man. This is all fucking made up shit anyways. Time is a human construct, and we are just living in eternity, my friends. Anyways, with that said, let's now get in the Krown application, which can be found at app.crunching.net. However, I want to make a few announcements here. First and foremost, check out the interview with Mr. Eric and Ken of the Liquidity Zone from a couple days ago. We did a nice little interview there on the Krown trading or the Krown podcast the Krown podcast playlist that I have. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ, man, slurring on my words way too early in the morning right now. As they kind of tell their story of how they went from not being a professional trader to being a person who I suppose is professional. I mean, at the end of the day, what do you really kind of like mark off as that? I would say is if that's your main source of income, then yes, indeed. So check that out. Also have another interview coming out tonight, actually, with one of our beautiful community members who is actually very, very popular himself. A lot of people recognize him, but I'll let him spoil the surprise right there. And then probably a couple more coming out over this weekend as we get more people involved. So really looking forward to that as I realize I now have bunny ears on. This is really cute. That's so cute, Elsa. Thanks. I'm so happy now. This is great. Get into the Easter spirit, she says, as I make sure that everything's populated over there. Okay, we're looking good. Anything else that I want to say? Yes, Jack also has his group running starting at the end of this month, at the end of April. So if you are interested in a little bit of psychological mentoring, that would be the man to go to for that. And Kelly Kellum, what's up, man? The only crypto YouTuber that starts right on time as you schedule. That's right, right as fucking predicted, always at the same goddamn time, kind of. But I do my best with that, man. With the time change here, it's actually made it a little bit easier for me to kind of be adherent to. Now tell me my bedtime stories. Bedtime stories, sir. Well, you know what? We have actually a lot to be talking about right now. But where the fuck is my thingy over here? Hold on, let me just make sure that this program is running. Hey, what the hell? What the fuck? Oh, that's why I'm spelling it wrong. Can't get my spelling right in the early morning here. There we go. Stream Deck. Thank you. Pop back up there. And okay, let's get into the Krown Chain application now, which is 100% free. Can be found at app.crunching.net. There's also a link in the description below. Shill for free shit. And what do we see right here? We actually see plenty of things. Bitcoin dominance coming down another 0.5% from yesterday to today. This is really starting to dig into the narrative that Bitcoin is actually putting in a major low here for the Bitcoin dominance on the general market. However, I will still hold on to my beliefs until I get a confirmed confirmation on the weekly, which will be happening as soon as this Sunday. If that does indeed happen, I will become extremely bullish on altcoin Bitcoin pairings, but I still do kind of hold a little bit of reservation for that. Of course, as everyone's kind of learned in the past, it's best to err on the side of conservativeness, at least in my experience when kind of looking at those sorts of things. Fear and Greed Index also stuck at a 74, which is incredibly interesting as Bitcoin's like literally at the pretty much all-time high, above $60,000 in the early morning hours, it looks like. And the market is not getting any more greedy than what it was the other day. Now, of course, this is a sentiment-based indicator. It can very much be gamed, but it is, it actually has been somewhat interesting, especially to follow along with price action and combine it with a few other things. But for right now, once again, the market you would expect to be extremely optimistic as Bitcoin does reapproach the prior all-time high. And this is yet again another thing kind of leading into bullish continuation here, likely throughout the month of April. On top of that, what do we see down here? We see open interest rising up about $250 million from yesterday to today as well, all the way up to about $11.5 billion. I believe we are just under all-time highs for open interest. Again, with Bitcoin pretty much reapproaching the prior all-time high, this is another underlying market dynamic that points in the Bula-ish direction, if you will. On top of that, what do we have over here? We got top 10 best coins, top 10 worst coins. Some newcomers on this list. Coin, bullshit coin over here. Jesus Christ, man, this one's still alive. BitTorrent as well on the winners list. So that is it's a very special Easter Sunday. And on top of that, do we see anything else that is kind of sticking out here? On the other side, I see BitMax token, I believe that is. So everyone's got their exchange tokens nowadays. OMG Network getting shitted on once again, and everyone else is kind of more or less the same usual suspects that we typically see there. Market data tab, here we go. Let's see what we have back on over here. Yes, okay, it has been confirmed, or has it been confirmed? Nope, still not actually confirmed. Open interest, while it is reapproaching the prior all-time high, Technically speaking, has not made new all-time highs just yet, but there's something very important about this in the sense that Bitcoin obviously reapproaching that prior all-time high with open interest also reapproaching that prior all-time high. I look at this as yet again another bullish reaccumulation over the whole month basically of March, which again is going to lead into a more long-term bullish bias, very likely throughout the month of April for myself. Of course, there are going to be downs within that general up. We are dealing with big numbers here, but at the end of the day, man, even looking at a $5,000 dump off from where we're at right now to about $6,000 doesn't really even change high term time frame structure. You'd really need something greater than that, and that is at this point a 10% move. So I do want to say that while I am going to be generally bullish throughout this month, based off of all the things that we spoke about, especially over the last couple of weeks, and following up on that, of course, as well. There are going to be, of course, little, well, maybe not little, but there certainly will be, dump bolas between that time as well, as nothing goes up or down in a straight line. Now, does it? Boon boys and doom boys, beware. Anyways, yes. Okay. So yes, we now we have it verified in chart format right there. The futures premium over spot price or over perps is just absolutely getting astronomical right there. Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's almost as if we should just ignore it for the time being. But I imagine that has to do with one of the exchange feeds. I actually went through it the other day and they didn't seem to be too far off, which is rather strange. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to make sure that's operating as intended. Anyways, what do we see as far as global funding rate? We do see that it is still maintaining above that 0.1% threshold. So this is about 2 days in a row now. I do think that this will maintain here a little bit longer. I do think that we're going to go for one of those more extended runs because Bitcoin is right at the precipice of a major breakout. In fact, what we're going to look at today is very likely leading into this major breakout, maybe even over this weekend, as we have seen Bitcoin take a few major legs, especially over holidays. And in general, the general knowledge with holidays and traditional markets, in my experience, is typically speaking, things just kind of float up, and especially when you're in general uptrend, typically things just kind of get a free ride to whatever relevant regions are to the upside. And in this case, most things are not just in relevant regions to the upside; they are quite literally in new all-time high breakouts, as we'll look at soon enough. So, with all of that said, all underlying market dynamics still looking more or less good to me. I still think that it should be mentioned that if you're an options trader, especially, you should understand this: implied volatility and also realized volatility are still relatively low, and that is a classic breakout sort of signature. Now, in this case, I do obviously favor the trend here, but you could just as easily say, well, that could come to the downside. Yes, absolutely. That's why options are options are designed in the way that they are. But more importantly, with that, there is actual edge at this point with, in my case, actually buying like a call spread, for example. Now, of course, you're on the bear side, you might want to buy a put spread and vice versa. I mean, there's a million ways to handle these things. But at the end of the day, very rarely do I ever feel like it's a good idea to be buying premium. But in these sorts of situations where you actually do see, those sorts of flat signatures plus price action quite literally at all-time highs pretty much, it's kind of one of those setups that you don't get all that often, I suppose. Anyways, with that said, let's go into the actual charts themselves. We're actually going to start off a little bit different today because I do think that this is extremely pertinent right now. And what do you know? SPY futures did hit our target, our short-term target from yesterday, all the way up to about, like 40, 20-ish region. Looks like we have it right around here. Hold on, let me just put on these babies right there. There we go. First target met at 1.272, also filling out, well, actually even superseding the measure move on that one. And I would be looking for it to essentially play between the 414 and the 272 coming into this next week of price action. Should definitely be denoted that because we do see that traditional markets are essentially closed for the week, there, as today is a holiday after all, right? What is this? I mean, this is yet again another closure on new all-time highs. Is that bearish or bullish? Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's bearish right there. Overall, we do see that Nasdaq is following through as well. And I look at this as incredibly important. And thank you for that, Mr. Tai Tong. But feel free to have a message, man. Although I would like to say that I would like to get through Bitcoin analysis first, if that's cool with everyone. Or I guess in this case, traditional market analysis. It should also be denoted that Nasdaq, which is again a little bit more strongly correlated with Bitcoin, confirming a local low here as we identified yesterday, and well, taking out the range high. And in this case, we are going to be able to confirm hidden bullish divergence between this point and this point. That's going to be coming in all the way back from this low here, and wow, this was all the way back in early November, and this low right here. Now, caretaker sure RSI is not going to pick up this hidden bullish divergence, at least on my settings right now, because my look back period is a little bit too short for that. But in this case, I would be looking for that one to very likely operate in that fashion. And the natural target is going to be back up to the prior all-time high, especially with weekly RSI looking like it wants to go back into the bullish control zone, very likely at the around open next week. Short term could have another move down to the 10 simple. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's certainly not out of the question. 13,200-ish region would be an obvious bounce area, if anything. Same thing as, not the same thing as SPY futures right here. But overall, I do look further upside, especially coming into next week. Now, over the weekend, does Bitcoin want to break out or not? I mean, that's obviously up to Bitcoin, of course. But we can start it off right here on the higher term timeframes for Bitcoin, kind of going over why I'm bullishly biased, especially in the month of April. And yet again, we have another trending above the topside Krown band signature for the working on 7th month in a row right here. Now, with that said, there is the same sort of interpretation with the topside Krown band and the same sort of same sort of play in edge available as we saw last month, where every time that we have seen every time that we've seen price action close above the topside Krown band, we have at the very least come back down and tested the topside Krown band with the low of that month's dildo. In this case right here, the low of a month's dildo right now is about just below $58,000, and the current topside Krown band is about 52,200. Doesn't necessarily need to like touch it exactly. You can see that it can be a little bit off right here, but generally speaking, it should be pretty damn reasonable. And with that said, that does make me believe that Bitcoin could very easily have a bit of a pullback to mid to low $50,000 region. But more importantly, that would be just like last month's low, a very obvious, a very obvious bounce area and very likely reversal area as well. I'm not bearish on anything that looks like this at all whatsoever, at least for this month. And we do see that that's further verified by the accumulation distribution indicator over here, which has maintained its positive slope. It has lost slight amount of curvature, just a few pixels right there. But overall, I do look at this as still very likely to continue onwards and upwards. Anytime that we have seen a slope change on this indicator, we have seen a macro reversal for Bitcoin throughout the whole 11 or 12-year history now. Last slope change we had was where? May 2020. Hey, what's that? That was when Bitcoin broke above $8,000 and, well, led us all the way to where we're at right now. Time before that was back in January 2020, or February 2020, really, before the coronavirus dump from 10,000 to 4,000. Time before that was way the fuck back on over here actually it was back on over here in February 2019, going all the way from 3,100 to, well, $14,000. And the time before that was the bull trap in March. And of course, you are more than welcome to go through this yourself. But at the end of the day, as long as that condition is met, I will be just naturally bullishly biased. Yes, of course, at some point, all of these are going to reverse, and this condition with trending above the topside Krown band will obviously be, negated. But for right now, I mean, 6 months trend is, well, essentially my friend in this case, and it could be yours as well, I suppose. And, there's no real limit to how long that can go on for. We did see that this actually did trend above the topside Krown band over here for almost 9 months straight in 2017 run. I'm talking about this month right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, to the high. And realistically, there's really only one closure below alongside that, which you could maybe even add another like 3 to 4 months on top of that. So yes, it can go on for quite some time. And this is why I do say that trends, when you have a trend going on, I always favor that trend until a confirmed reversal, because these can go on for a very, 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 very long time. And to me, that is, I'd rather err on the side of the trend rather than try to get caught in a Darth Maul dildo on a Wednesday, which is, not going to be good for a lot of people. And that's kind of why I avoid shorter term timeframes, especially in a market environment like this. Anyways, what did I just miss right now? What the fuck is going on here? Hey, what's up, Keitoshi? Happy Easter Krown. Can we look at Anchor? Hey, man, if we could get through Bitcoin first, that'd be excellent. But sure, yeah, after that, we can look at Anchor and we'll get to that, Mr. Katoshi, if that's cool with you. Anyways, looking at this right here, yes, we do see that monthly Stokes still angled to the north side as well. Yes, they are pretty fucking aggressive in this region, no doubt about that. But it should be denoted that that monthly MACD histogram has once again increased the momentum. So I know this rally is fucking crazy. I know that this rally is obviously very fucking crazy. But at the end of the day, momentum still increasing alongside a macro uptrend. I'm not going to hate that. Also, we do see that the DMI Plus still very much dominant. ADX still strengthening. Yes, I don't think that it has too too much more room to go there. But at the end of the day, again, I really wouldn't fade those signals until we actually get a confirmed counter signal. In this case, we can go to the quarterly, of which we just closed one the other day as well. And guess what? The quarterly topside Toronto band coming in somewhere right around about $46,000, which does again make me think that Bitcoin could very easily play out a move down to like low $50,000. But at the end of the day, it's not until we actually close a quarterly where it is appropriate to even analysize this one. I think the quarterly does really speak for itself, though. I'm really trying to find like a legitimate bearish case here. There's not one for me on the quarterly, and I really shudder to say that because that's like really blasphemous almost. It's like hubris in this case, as I've actually been reading the Odyssey. But looking at this right here, I mean, this is very clear and obvious continuation over the next 3 months. Very likely, we see quarterly Stokes getting back in the bullish control zone, very similar signature to what we saw back in over here in April 2017 or January 2017, really, and that led from your whole move from about $1,000 all the way to $20,000 high in 2017, of course. On top of that, quarterly accumulation distribution indicator is more or less, well, angled to the upside here too. Now, we don't really have too much history for this one, so I don't trust it as much for, of course, the quarterly as I do the monthly. But for the information that we do have, it would be pretty damn good. We'll say that. On top of that, DMI plus obviously good, and MACD histogram obviously good as well. But this is yet again a quarterly, and we really don't have a whole hell of a lot of history here to be making like really good and accurate decisions off of. But it does obviously play well with the monthly, and sort of putting those two things together. Yes, I am essentially bullishly biased coming into this next, at the very least this next month of price action, probably this next 3 months of price action. And with that said, we can go into the daily now. We officially did get the daily MACD bullish cross right here. This is more important combined with an actual breakage of topside resistance. Obviously, these things need to be put 2 and 2 together. And in this case, yes, momentum plus breaking resistance, that is typically going to precipitate your breakouts. Momentum oscillators like our Stokes are also headed up way to the critical zone right now after playing out a nice big old test down to our trend line going to bat for about a year and a couple months now, all the way back to March 2020 on your coronavirus dump times, getting your $10,000 dump dildos right here in September, and in your March lows just of last month, and then once again your late March lows, early April lows. As of recent times. So all of this, following through with each other. On top of that, DMI plus in the infancy of its signal right here. ADX is once again strengthening. I really like this read actually, as DMI plus gets a little bit of a positive slope right there. Again, anytime that we've seen the signature over the last 6 months, it's been, actually precipitating the breakouts. We see this one over here in early March. That was leading up towards this breakout right here. Let's actually just zoom in a bit as we can see, and we can measure out some of these and see if there's any sort of, what's it called? Rhyme or reason going on here. And with Bitcoin breaking above the brown 20 simple, we'll take the measurement from there, as that actually is coinciding with the bullish signal from the ADX DMI, and that does give you about 22% to the next high, also along the topside Toronto band as it does expand. Quite good. We see the next signal precipitated way the fuck back on over here. Again, breaks above the 20 simple, that brown moving average, and then zoom, zoom. Jesus Christ, stupid. Actually about a 41% move over the next 11 days, it looks like, or sorry, over the next 7 days. Almost immediately, though, it goes about 20% to the upside. So you got a 20% move right here, continues to trend, 42% right there, and then ultimately before the actual reversal, about 70%. So I would still say that 20% is like kind of the more obvious of these two, and the more muted of these two, of course. And I think the more dependable of these two as we can continue to go through all these different iterations. The time before that was way the fuck back on over here in December 2020, of course, before breaking out from about $20,000 to I guess 40. I mean, almost immediately to about $24,000. That's a 30% move right there. For reference, doesn't look like much, but well, 30% is 30%, and then ultimately not reversing before 126% and a half move to the upside. And we have a couple more iterations on this current signature here too. We got this baby over here where Bitcoin was basing at about 10,600 and pops above the 20 simple, then boom, about a 20% move to the upside right there, continues to trend the whole way through, eventually getting to a 100% move. And then we can go through a few more way the fuck back on over here actually from this signature given at about July 2020, before that move from about 9,000 to 12,500 or so. And that's about a 32% move. So we can kind of come up with a bit of a range on those signatures. Again, popping above the 20 simple on our daily Trollinger bands, plus also simultaneously having that ADX DMI bullish signal as well. And yes, that has been on the lower end about 20% actually every time, and as much as 100% on some of those iterations as well. Now, of course, this is secondary to just the fact that Bitcoin isn't or maybe not generational, but a macro uptrend. But just out of curiosity, what would happen if we were to add about 20% onto that signal given to 20% plus? Well, that would be right here from the 20 simple. That's kind of like the basin that we've been using, and let's just say, doing some bad mental math, that would probably be right around $70,000. That's interesting now, isn't it? Yeah, about 20% right there, just below $70,000. That's very, very interesting now, isn't it? Why is that interesting? Well, why is that interesting, you ask? Well, let me just answer my own fucking question. How about that? We can pull this up right here, and we do see that if we do take a Fibonacci extension from our last major base in this region right here, that actually would be lining up with the 3.618 Fibonacci extension at around $69,000. That's rather interesting now, isn't it? Also, if you're looking at this as an ascending triangle right here, which I would still say that CME chart is very much filling that out, then your measured move from that ascending triangle would also naturally be pointed towards about $70,000 as well. So I do like the confluence between these two things, and I do still look at CME as, I suppose, a breakout in motion. Yes, it is very much questionable with the lack of volume participation on this one, but at the end of the day, man, until it actually breaks back down below what would have been your resolution point, I really have no real reason to believe that this is a fake out until that happens. Yes, there are a few questions with this one, but the way to kind of judge it would either be a 12-hour or daily total closure below about 58,800-ish region, or just takes out the 30th of March low. If one of those two things happens, yes, you got a swing failure pattern right here, and I'd get ready for a move down somewhere around like $54,000 very likely. That probably does fill the monthly low, and then, party on once again, I suppose. Anyways, I see Shubhang says, could you take a look at Bitcoin daily Bitcoin dominance on the 4-hour daily? Yeah, man, I'm happy to do that. And I appreciate, it being a little more Bitcoin focused, while I'm doing the Bitcoin analysis, I suppose. Still looking at this, man, this is really starting to dig into the narrative that I could be looking for a macro low here. If this closes like this on the end of Sunday, yeah, I'm going to be extremely bullish on altcoins for the month to come. And to be fair, we do have the monthly and quarterly closure here now, and this is not really looking bullish, to be honest with you, for the quarterly, especially for the monthly. Could have a few up moves. In fact, the more that I look at the monthly, the more that I start to look at this as unlikely to reverse here. In fact, I'd still give the weekly a chance, but and the reason, also another big reason why I kind of want to be a little bit more hesitated with this one is mostly because if Bitcoin does break out here and really does start getting running up to maybe like $69,000 or $70,000, I'd imagine that altcoins, generally speaking, historically speaking at least, will not be doing all that well versus their Bitcoin pairing. Versus US dollar, they'll probably be doing great, but versus Bitcoin pairing, probably have something similar to 2017. So I would still wait on this one, but if it does close like this, there's really no more counter argument for being for looking at a macro reversal right here. Anyways, okay, cool. What the fuck is going on right there? Heart attack effects. There you go. Anyways, okay, cool. Let's wait. Hold on. I'm on the wrong charts right now. Let's go see back on a Bitcoin over here. Now, do we have anything more relevant on spot that I haven't talked about on this chart? No, not really. We are going to see very likely another cross between the 55 and the bottom side Toronto band, but I don't think that's too much of a big issue or too much of a relevant issue for us right now. There's more relevant things on the shorter term timeframes actually. In fact, before we do that, let's go back on over here to the shorter term timeframes on this chart, and we actually would have a break of structure here if you are looking at this as I guess I don't have it charted on this secondary chart. We would already have a break of structure right here leading up to this little ascending triangle at the very, 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 very last portion of this region. And that will obviously have a measure move. I'm going to imagine it's going to be synonymous with the prior all-time high or around there, and pretty much right around there, about $61,000 to be fair. And we do see that this is being done on relatively higher volume. So I do look at this as a little bit of a short-term breakout. And this is also precipitated and more importantly, overshadowed by this breakout out of this inverted head and shoulders right here. So we got two formations. You typically do have multiple complex formations going on in any given chart, or it could be, infinite. Again, I'm not a humongous pattern trader myself, but I do identify these two ones right here, inverted head and shoulders, so a reversal formation in the same side of the macro trend. Good. All right, nice. Plus an ascending triangle right at the right end of this last area right here at about 59,500-ish region. So I would be looking at this as a confirmed breakout right here leading into this confirmed breakout, or sorry, continuing this prior breakout over here. And what did we say over the last few days? As soon as we identified this breakout from the inverted head and shoulders, said, hey, look, if this is going to play in the way that, you know, pattern analysis kind of has to be done, what you'd expect is you'd expect that the target, the measured move on this would get hit before a reversal on that time frame. This time frame being a 4 hour right here. So has that been working out? Well, yeah, it has been working out. And yet again, just like the last, I don't know, 5 or so days, we can move up that resolution point for failure once again here to yesterday's local low on a closing basis, 58,500. Not going to be too much different than what it was from the day prior, that being yesterday at 58,000 bucks. But it is worth mentioning here. And you know, we've been slowly moving these up. We can actually just show up with the same trend line right here from this area, then to this area, this local low, then this local low, and now we can do this local low right here. So as long as Bitcoin's above there, there's really no reason, in my opinion, to even be short-term bearish on this structure. That obviously does mean that Bitcoin could very easily come back down to that region, but until it actually cracks below on a 4 hour or 2 hour delta closure or takes out yesterday's wick low, I don't look at that as I don't even look at that as short-term bearish. So we have pretty much all time frames lining up with each other right now, and we do have a nice little holiday weekend, which traditionally speaking is a bit of a free ride to whatever the fuck you want to do in the week prior. In this case right here, that measure move would be pointed up towards about 62,400, which is actually rather interesting, I believe, as well, because that probably does line up with one of our fibs to the upside. Let's see if that does. Yes, it does. A 3-spot extension. What do you fucking know? 62,500 right goddamn there. So overall, if Bitcoin does continue onwards and upwards here, I'd have an area of interest right around 62,500 bucks, and then of course that right below right below about 70,000 bucks to the upside as well. Going through our main charts over here, I think that it does, or it is worth mentioning that weekly is just, I mean, this is quite obvious continuation, you might say. Do we have any sort of hidden bullish divergence about to be populated over here? We do. That's rather interesting now, isn't it? On top of that, we got 3-day hidden bullish divergence also playing out slowly, but it is playing out. 2-day obviously doing the same thing, cracking above the exponential into the bullish control zone. That's usually pretty fucking good. And what do we see on the 5-day? Same shit as well. So we have pretty much all time frames up to a weekly showing that hidden bullish divergence call. Again, I don't think it would be, it wouldn't even change my medium-term analysis. Bitcoin came back down to like 55,000 bucks or even 54,000 bucks, or that would be more long-term analysis, to be fair. But you know, on all fronts, to me, it looks like continuation on the whole. Maybe not exactly on the short-term timeframes right now, but again, that can be mediated by once again moving up the resolution point to about 58,500ish region. And if Bitcoin does break below 58,500, I probably would be looking for Bitcoin to come back down and fill somewhere around 54,500 to 55,000 bucks, somewhere around there, and then play out the monthly signature. Anyways, as it stands right now, should be denoted that on our lower-term timeframes, we are seeing momentum turn back up alongside this breakout. 4-hour Stokes, nice and angled back onto the upside, nice and erect there as it does rejecting out of the bullish control zone. I think that's rather telling in and of itself. 3-hour is already doing the same thing, already doing the same thing, obviously, and bi-hourly doing the same thing, and hourly kind of flip-flopping around there. But you know, we do see pretty much confluence between all the lower term timeframes right now. So yeah, I suppose I would remain bullish-ly imposed today as well in the short term timeframes, basically all timeframes. Oh, and guess what? We even have hidden bullish divergence off that last low. Credit to Caretaker on this one as well. Jesus Christ, man. So this is looking more or less good to me, if you to put it bluntly, I suppose. Anyways, let's look at the medium-term timeframes, and then we'll get on. Maybe look at some comments and get back to that. What was that ticker that someone wanted to look at? Some bullshit ticker. Anchor. Yeah, that's it. We got some lovely lovely altcoins in the morning. Anyways, it should also be denoted HVP incredibly fucking low right here. Incredibly fucking low as RSI does consolidate around the bullish control zone on an incredibly constructive read going all the way back to October 2020. I kind of like what's going on right here. It's kind of looking good, man. Kind of looking fucking good. And I believe all lower term timeframes. Yeah, here's something that's a bit profound. So I want to say this, and I want to repeat this, especially for people in the program. If you are seeing something like this, where Bitcoin on all time frames is like starting to see the stars align, is what I refer to it as, where you see all these sort of momentum calls suggesting one side, and then you see HVP really, really low like this, like in the single digits or even in the teens is good enough on pretty much all time frames. Like if we look at an hourly, it's starting to actually expand from a single digit. If we look at the 4-hour, it is in single digits. If we go to the 12-hour, it is also in single digits. And if we go to the daily, I imagine it's actually still trending down here. But more importantly, we are starting to see a lot of them start to line up with each other, and that typically is, going to be continuation in this case. Obviously, the TSI was calling it a little bit earlier, about 4 days ago now. So that actually led into a lot of the biases coming in this week, amongst other things as well. But overall, I'm trying to look for bearish things here, and we can come up with structure and everything, but I suppose. To put it quite clearly, I am, I suppose, bullish here. Anyways, okay, so we'll look at this anchor. Okay, no time frame given and no base pair given, Mr. K-Toshi, god damn it, K-Toshi. Look at it versus Bitcoin. I do want to see some Bitcoin pairings today, just to understand, in general, is the market bullish versus Bitcoin or not? And looking at a daily does look fine for what it's worth right now. 4 hour looks like obvious short-term bullishness, probably back up to 300 satoshis, but I don't know what time frame you want to be looking at because you didn't include it, sir. So I don't really know where to go with that one. All right, cool. Jim O'Kenny, definitely Irish. Krown, seen the Fibonacci breakout chart the first time on DMT, so he got that going for him. Nice. There you go. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Anyways, I'll save the more long-term stuff for tomorrow. Tristan Toff says, Krown, will you look at the caretaker pi cycle indicator as it looks different as fuck from the last days? Does it? I feel like the pi cycle has become like a massive fucking meme in this market. I feel like I've been unfortunately incredibly misheard by many people. Which is unfortunate because I actually do think that this does have a lot of merit within itself, but a lot of people, for some reason, interpret this percentage right here as like the end of the bull market. No, that's not how it fucking works. No offense, but fucking obviously. Sorry, no offense, but fucking obviously, seriously. As we've shown plenty of times in the past, when we get below those thresholds, like 75% or 80%, that leads into your last rally, historically speaking. And then that last rally is basically, all hands on deck. It's time to look for major reversals, and when we talk about major reversals, we're talking about 50 to 70% to the downside, which obviously we don't have just yet. So that would first imply actually a bullish continuation here, another very likely parabolic move as we have seen in the past, although it is only 3 iterations to be fair. And then that very likely does, lead into the downside. What I think is a little more interesting right now is actually not that, but actually this, as if Bitcoin is going to go parabolic, well, there's something very interesting about that, right? Because if Bitcoin does go parabolic, we do have this chart that actually has been pretty damn interesting over the history of Bitcoin as well. This one's called the Bitcoin Investor Tool. I despise the name, but it actually does seem to have a little bit of merit on it, especially if we go to the BLX index. And anytime that we have seen Bitcoin especially close above the top red band, we have seen the last sort of parabolic push for that market cycle go on. We can go all the way back to 2013 for this, 2014, 2017, and more recently, we actually have kind of topped out on the last few drives around that area, but that is currently situated right around $70,000, which would be rather interesting now, wouldn't it? Because if Bitcoin does get above there, or if Bitcoin does meet that region, that would also imply that the short term or the medium term inverted head and shoulders has led into the ascending triangle that we identified earlier, and those targets would have been met, and Bitcoin actually exceeds it. So if Bitcoin starts to exceed those levels, I would look for that last parabolic push, and that very likely does lead into into the next major high. But how high does Bitcoin get before then? I think Bitcoin could very easily get into the 6 digits, to be honest with you. Anyways, Abbott Dynamic Design and Manufacturing LLC says, hey Krown, hope your week was well. Doesn't even matter what week it fucking is, man. I've lost all counts of days. I took first stock play on Netflix, wanting your thoughts on the 4 hour daily. Okay, is this like actually Netflix or is this Netflix? Let me just see if this is a thing first. Okay, I'm being trolled. Okay, there we go. We're looking for Netflix right here. All right, and you're looking at a 4 hour and daily. Does 560 sound like a good target point? Well, first, let me get on like a regular chart over here. Jesus Christ. Let's see, NTF. What is this ticker? Netflix. I actually don't think I've ever traded this one. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually traded this one. Netflix. Anyways, being one of the big major FANG stocks, it should deserve some love. Would I be targeting 560 on a daily? Yeah, I would. This is a clear breakout. Alongside your techs and whatnot, like Nasdaq suggested, this is reaccumulation right here. And if it's reaccumulation, your next natural target's gonna be like 550 to 560ish region. Looks good, man. I mean, this is probably gonna have some hidden bullish evidence coming off this territory right here. Yes, I'd say that the Joule signal has played out all the way from 560 down to a low of 490. Yeah, I'd be looking for this one to give some upside coming into this next week. It's going to be very difficult to be bearish on pretty much anything in the stock market throughout this next month, very likely. Nut fluxes. Okay, let's see what else we got, baby. No more paper says stocks and crypto today. Let's start with AIR Daily. Okay, so I'm guessing this is a stock. Airbus. Are you talking about Airbus? Which exchange you want to go on? You might actually need to identify an exchange, just because I'm going to guess you're probably talking about Airbus, and the most relevant exchange is probably going to be this one right here. But if not, let me know. And you said daily specifically. Yep, looking like it's actually breaking the trend here. The key critical moment is breaking above that 200 simple. Golden cross very likely incoming as long as it maintains above the 200 simple. So very obvious risk management on this region right here. A very obvious pivot, if you want to call it that, at $95. And I'd be generally bullish on this one, looking for it to very likely pop back up all the way to probably 129, 130-ish region based off the weekly. Based off the daily, daily is obviously uptrending right here too, hitting bullish evidence coming off that last low. Yep, I'd be looking for that to continue onwards and upwards. More daily next relevant region is going to be like 100, about 110 to 113 region. Weekly next relevant region is going to be pretty much around the prior high at about 130. It's going to be looking pretty damn good. Again, most things in this market are very likely to be bullish throughout this next month. I know I sound fucking crazy saying this, because this market's been already like just insane movements to the upside, but well, then again, I mean, you do have a little bit of this action too, so fair enough. All right, cool. Mario says, good sir, good Mario. Nvidia, yeah, let's look. Ooh, nice. We got some stocks today. This is great. This is great. No crypto bullshit. This is awesome. Okay, I'm going rabbit hunting. Okay, nice one. Hey, I'm a rabbit. Fuck off. Weekly looks good. Very, very good close yesterday. I'll be looking for this one to pop back up next week to like $600. But you said daily specifically. Daily's looking fine as well. I mean, you see a clear reaccumulation right here. Popping back of the high of that reaccumulation is your continuation signal. 580 would be the daily target, to be fair. Probably long term, I'd be looking for another signal on the TSI getting back above the zero read to continue onwards and upwards to very likely new all-time highs. Let's see. Okay. All right. Mr. Ty says, nice call on KSM 420. Haven't looked at it, but nice. Glad to hear that that's working out, man. We can go look at it really quick right now. KSM, I'm guessing that's versus USD. You always got to go with the Mimi numbers, you know? Always go with the Mimi numbers when given the chance. And actually, look at that. Hey, nice. We got the 420 tick right there. Not bad. Probably be looking for a little bit of a short-term bouncy bounce here. Well, do I look for short-term bouncy bounce or short-term continuation of the downside? 4 hour looks pretty shitty, to be honest with you. 4 hour looks like obvious continuation down to like 375. But daily, I'm almost always going to look for a bounce around the 21. So you know what? I'd favor that. It is the higher term time frame after all, in comparison to the 4 hour bullshit. Anyways, please tell me about the Matrix Network BTC. Any idea, please? Press green or red button, sir. It's like, you're already fucked, man. You came to the internet for advice. Oh, man. It's like no time frame given, no preferences given, no nothing. And I'm sorry, but we do need to pick on someone today. So we're going to pick on Amrut. Amrut, sorry, man. This is all said with love. But seriously, if you go on the internet and like without any of the fucking preferences, you just say, what idea, please? You're going to get fucked, because everyone has different ideas about ideas. Everyone has different natural preferences. What you might be looking for is like a long-term play fucking years down the road. What someone might answer is with a perspective of like a short-term day trader looking at like an hourly, for example. It's not going to work. It's not. You're just asking for a good old red dildo to be shoved into you and get a little popsicle stick coming out of your mouth. It's not good. Elsa's looking at me weird now too. She doesn't like that. Anyways, basically rabbit. Pollinator says, hi, Krown. Could you have a look at BRN daily on ASX, please? Sure, man. Guessing Australian markets are very likely already closed. You're talking about Brent crude oil features? Oh, you bastards in your fucking oil. Or brain chip holdings. Actually, no, you said on ASX, so it has to be this one. Very likely pops back up coming in next week, like 63 cent. This looks like a penny stock bullshit, though. What is up with Australian stocks and penny stocks? It is actually good formation here, to be fair. I mean, this is reaccumulation at a high level. Probably does even have a long-term continuation, but short-term even looks fine here too. I'd be looking for another move up to like 63 cents actually. Derek likes it. Emma, hey, what's up, Emma? Rook, Perp, FTX, 4 hour, please. All right, Rook. Rook. Stonks go up, stonks go down. Yeah, there you go, Mr. Memes. Mr. Memes, sir. Okay, perp. Let's see it on FTX. Actually did take out the trend there, so fair enough. Have to be bullish on this one. Everything in this market's fucking bullish, huh? Probably looking for a move to like 450-ish region on the daily, but you're looking at a 4-hour. So there you go. That's why you need a little bit of a time frame bias here. And what do we see right now? Nope, no divergences here because we actually do have a higher high on that run. 4-hour, I actually don't have a strong opinion on. 4-hour, a healthy amount of, I don't know. I could just as easily be looking for a pullback here as I could continuation. Daily, however, I'd be looking for continuation a little bit more obviously too. Already looks like I got the pullback to $400 anyways. So yeah, I'd generally be looking towards, medium term like 440, 450, and then long term, probably 490 actually. Doesn't look too bad right there. Hey, what's up, Ethereal? ASX, ILU. Okay, let's check it out. All right, ILU. I love you on ASX. 4-hour daily. Daily. A little bit of short-term toppy, it looks like. 4-hour. 4-hour, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing have a slight downturn towards about $7, but I feel like when you're asking about the daily, you're probably wanting to know more long term, and long term, I actually do like this. I would be looking for continuation back up to 760 and probably new highs on this one. TSI is kind of the is kind of like the key in this one for me, back above the 0 read, and we do see hidden bullish divergence on the other side too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be bullish on this one overall. So maybe a short term pullback, but ultimately medium and long term continuation here is what I'd be looking for, and I don't feel too confident about that short-term pullback to be to put it bluntly as well. Hey, what's up, Mark Reed? Can we look at Flow USD daily, please? Sure, man. All right, Flow USD daily, please. All right. I guess Hit BTC is going to be the one. Daily looks like does not look as good as other ones. No, look, if I'm just looking at this thing, I don't like it. Very little amounts of history and even a little bit of short-term toppy right here too. I'd probably be looking for next move down 2880-ish region. What's up, new 510 buddy bro, new bro? How you doing, man? Are you filled with caca or is that chocolate drip? Oh, you. He's asking for you, Elsa. He's asking for you, sir. He's in the bathroom right now. She'll figure it out though. All right, one spoon, sir. I don't know. I've been looking for one myself. Gonna eat some more. I have to decide today. Do I want pork or do I want beef? I think beef. Yeah, I think beef. SNED Music says, or SNED Music says, sup, BB? Hello, BB. Good to see you, BB. CPH on ASX. Oh man, the Australians are up nice and early today, it sounds like. Okay, here we go. Cresco Pharma, so some sort of big pharma corporation, I suppose. 4-hour, or did you give it a time frame? Yes, you did. Daily. 4-hour actually looks good right there. Daily looks good as well. Yep, I'd be looking for this I'd be looking at this as reaccumulation. Short term, medium term, probably pops it back up to like a quarter-ish region. Long term, I'd be looking for this to continue onwards and upwards. This is a change of behavior right here. I wouldn't necessarily be bearish on this one long term any longer. Let me just double check on the weekly first. Okay, some pretty obvious areas of operation right here. As long as you're above 1st of March low, I would generally be bullish on all timeframes here. Higher term timeframes would be looking for a target of like 41 cents actually, or 40-ish cents. However, if you take out this low, even just take below it, I would look for a great pullback, like a very massive pullback indeed, probably all the way back down to single-digit cents. So keep that in mind. Let's see. No More Paper says, hey, actually meant AAR Corp on New York Stock Exchange. Okay. AAR. All right. Anglo-Australian. Oh, no. Okay, you're talking about this one right here. Okay. I see what you're talking about. And you said, well, I forgot what time frames you're looking at, but I'm going to guess probably 4-hour daily because that's what everyone fucking wants. Hidden bullish evidence come off the low right now in a general uptrend. Yep, I'm going to be targeting $44 on this one. TSI, I'd look for the next bullish cross to really denote potentially the next like actual drive here, the next like trendy move. Right now, still kind of consolidation medium term on a range, but I'd be looking for a move to the top side of that range. If we're looking at the weekly is very interesting. The weekly is very interesting here to me actually. Long term, I'd probably be very bullish on this one. Yeah, this is a long term uptrend, no doubt about that. So yeah. Probably very likely I would maintain long-term bullishness. You can even use last week's low as or not last week's, but the week before that, 22nd of March low as a bit of a pivot there too. But for now, looks a little more upside angle to myself. Anyways, Hey, what's up, Vlad Simidovsky? How you doing, man? It's a difficult name to say. Maker BTC daily, please. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's check this one out. MKR BTC. Binance probably gonna be the one for this, and daily popping back up. I'd be looking for this one to have a medium-term move back to about 4.5 cent. Do we see a change of behavior here? I mean, it is a pump and dump after all, so I think that you're probably getting ready for another pumpity pump phase, but as with all pumps and dumps, what goes up typically does come down, and you already know. All right, let's see. Let me just make sure that I got everything over here. Got all good, Mr. Ethereal. Oh, is that Arthur from that TV show Archer? Yeah, Archer. That's it. Great show, man. Really fucking good show. The Adventures of Galactic Traveler says, Krown coming at you from the Beefy Way Galaxy. Ooh, I like that. Thoughts on 1 USD 4-hour daily? All right. 1 USD. All right. 1 USD 4-hour daily. Let's go to Binance, I suppose. Daily looks a little bit toppy to me. Daily looks very sloppy toppy to me. 4-hour. The problem is it's usually not a very good move to be bearish on some sort of an altcoin versus US dollar if you're going to be bullish on Bitcoin versus US dollar. In this case, though, there are several things that would be kind of cause for concern. Big Jewel 4-hour sell signal right here on 25th of March. That was not your prior all-time high, or that wasn't your all-time high, but that was pretty damn close to it. But this is a continuation halt of your short signal right here, so I'm more inclined to be looking at some downside. Daily looks downside imposed to me as well. I'd probably be looking for a move down to the 21, like 14.5 cent region, and probably bounce there. Daily does look more downside angle to me, but I mean, a very impressive run here. Problem is, if I'm going to be bullish on Bitcoin, that's just really not historically the right thing to be doing. Is to be like bearish on this and then bullish on Bitcoin. So I think a healthy amount of I don't know on this one is going to be the right call. Based off the weekly, I probably would be looking for a bounce. I'd probably be looking for a bounce after a little bit lower, based off the weekly. That is. Okay, cool. No More Paper says Asan, New York Stock Exchange. Okay. ASAN. Whoopsies. Oh, that's not how you spell that. All right, there we go. Asana. Yeah, there we go. Asana. That's that's a nice one. Short term up. Short term, I'll be looking for a move back up to like 32 and a quarter, 32.30ish region. You said daily, weekly, so we'll go to the weekly as well. Yeah, weekly's trying to put in a low right here. I don't like this as it doesn't have too much history, but I would be short-term, medium-term bullish, yes. Probably does even try back up towards like 34 plus, I'd imagine, over the next few weeks. Serperator. Hey, what's up, Serperator? ENJ USD. Okay, ENJ USD. 4-hour daily, hanging by a thread or continuation. All right, so we got Engine Coin over here. Is this one hanging by a thread? Weekly's just kind of, well, consolidating at the top. Is it hanging by a thread? That's actually a really good question on this one. This one's very similar to the last one that we just looked. I can't be bearish off the daily. Here's the thing. I cannot be bearish off the daily in its current posturing. There is no bearish case for me on this one as long as it's above about $2.04, we'll call it. Just your last local low right here. And with the general market looking more upside angled, I think that it would be very unwise to be contrary to the general market direction. With that said, anywhere below this region, anywhere below about 204, I'd be looking for big pullbacks all the way down to like 164. So we're talking about big moves at that point. But for the time being, I suppose I'd be cautiously bullish, looking for a bit of a range to still occur in this region, and probably short term is a little bit of downside. But ultimately, if Bitcoin pulls through here, it's very difficult for me to be bearish on just about anything else. Okay, so I'd be looking at continuation first, but that would be my condition for switching around to bearish on that one. Justin Meyer says Cardano USD daily on a 4-hour on Kraken. Okay. Cardano USD, Kraken specifically. All right, fair enough. You said 4 specifically as well. This one's obviously consolidating at a high level. This one looks to me like it's getting ready for another move back up to about 1.25 region. Ultimately, I know you didn't ask for it, but if I'm looking at a daily or weekly, this is very likely to pop back up to like 140 and probably beyond. Look, it's very likely to follow Bitcoin. Very likely to follow Bitcoin here, except for this bullshit right here. Then you got to watch out for that shit. So that's also why I don't like trading altcoins. Don't like that. Anyways, Mr. Almasari says Mara USD daily, weekly, sell house and all in. Well, I would never suggest doing something so brash like that, but you should consider selling your wife. Mara USD. I don't. Okay, are you talking about Marathon Digital Holdings? If you're saying Mara USD, that's going to make it pop up as a crypto, and there's no crypto that's named that, at least to my knowledge, or at least that's on TradingView. So I'm going to guess that you're looking at this right here. Okay, so daily is obviously a very strong uptrend. Weekly is weekly is a full-on reversal here. Weekly golden cross. Okay, now I would never suggest to sell your house, but if you got a spare kidney or so, no, just kidding. I would be bullish on this one. Yes, this is a clear change of behavior over here. You have a weekly reversal as well. You got a golden cross on the other side. I'm not bearish on this. to put it bluntly. Let's see. Okay, did I get everyone right there? I did. Tai Tong says, can you look at ICX USD on Kraken long term? Yeah. Let's see. ICX, this is the Korean one. Haven't seen this one in a very long time. Is that little bitch Phil USD? Yeah. Okay. So you're looking long term. So I'm gonna be daily, weekly on this one. Binance. I know you asked for Kraken, but Binance probably gonna have more history here. And if you do want the more long term history of this one, then this can be more relevant. Yeah. Selling off of those May 2018 dump-aroos. But I'd be looking for a little bit of short-term down, likely back down to like 240-ish region, and then probably try again to the upside. Again, I'm going to be going with the general market here. I can't be bearish on this thing for like a long-term move, which is what you denoted here, as long as it's above about 240. Do I think it comes back down and tests around 240? Yeah, I do. However, long-term, I'd favor continuation. Yeah, I'd favor continuation first and foremost, actually. Basically, whatever Bitcoin does, very likely to mirror. Maybe a little bit of short-term down there, but long-term, this one does look like it wants to kind of pop around the corner. Admiral Blue, Mr. Blue, you're my boy Blue. is that little bitch Phil USD on the 4-hour ready for Armageddon, or still going to 270? Let's see. Phil USD, I don't know, man. If probably going to be doing whatever Bitcoin's doing for the most part. Let's see, Phil USD right here. I don't really see anything bearish about this on the weekly. What about on a daily? Daily, obvious pivots, both to the upside and the downside here. Would I be looking towards 270? If it takes out the current high of this, which is 240, then yes. Very likely, yeah, right around your prior time high. I have no real reason to be bearish on this one as long as it's above yesterday's low. Is that very helpful? Well, if you are trading higher term time frames, yes. I mean, you do have a very obvious reversal point right there below 150, but that's a lot of risk. That's a lot of risk from where we're at right now. You're talking about a 4-hour, however, which is completely different. So you are losing a lot of the sight, the grand sight of everything that's going on, but that's okay. That's your prerogative. That's you're a free human being. You can choose whatever the fuck you want to be looking at. In this case right here, I'd be looking at the 4-hour 21 as a bit of a basing point if I had to, but really it's yesterday's low that is your reversal point. Again, you play alts at your own fucking peril, in my opinion, and that is why I really do not like shit like this. You don't have to trade this bullshit. You don't have to do it. You don't got to do it. There's no one forcing you to trade this bullshit. You don't have to. You can trade Bitcoin and leverage if you want to really play the old slot machine. AJ Johnny says swap BTC, trust swap long term, no award today. What do we have here? Swap BTC, Poloniex. On fucking Polo, man. One of the most relevant exchanges, maybe to date. Do we have any awards going on today? Actually, no. This is not going to be worst chart of the war today. Or at least I don't think that it deserves it. Although we haven't really seen too many bad charts today, to be fair. Short term, I probably would be looking a little bit of downside here, maybe back down to like 5660 Satoshis, somewhere back down around here. Long term, though, I mean, this is very obviously trying to revert the trend, and we actually do have a bit of a reversal over here, I imagine, on the weekly. Yep, higher low right there. Not necessarily a higher high just yet, but overall, I do favor the long-term upside. In fact, if that is what you're looking for, which is what you said you're looking for. So yeah, I'd be sticking with that. Jay Quinn says, we look at XDAI stake. Okay, XDAI. All right. Okay, this is real on Poloniex again. What the fuck? It's been making a move. Everything's making a move right now, man. That's this. What the fuck? You call this a move? You call this a move? A move for fucking ants, man. Hey, there's things in this market that are like actually moving. You can't. Don't use these terms just all willy-nilly. They got to actually mean something here, man. Is this one making a move? Yeah, it is very. Look, everything in this market's moving together. Everything in this market's very likely to move to the upside, and this one's no different. Probably pops up medium term to $28. Long term, I wouldn't be surprised to see this pop back up to the prior high and probably beyond. I mean, this is obvious reaccumulation right here. Weekly's trying to set in a higher low. If you see any sort of a weekly closure on Sunday above $24, I'd be looking for very likely a retest of the prior time highs and probably beyond. Okay, let's see. So we got that one. All right. Mr. Abbott Dynamics says, hey, Krown, sorry for the double ask. All good, man. Sorry, hopefully I didn't miss your super chat in the first part. If I did, major apologies for that. I know that it's very annoying for people. I apologize for that, like, profusely, though, because I know it's probably really fucking annoying. But I'm trying to do my best here, man, and sometimes it gets a little bit difficult to follow up on things. So just remind me, it's all good. Like, I can always go back. RCL, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with actually Bitcoin here. Nope, no. Is this a oh, are you looking at this right here? I'm guessing you're looking at this right here. Unless if yeah, okay, so that is not a crypto. So it is quite literally Royal Caribbean Group on New York Stock Exchange. So it's a real stock. It's like Pinocchio. It's like a real boy. Daily specifically. Okay, so well, weekly is kind of in limbo right there. Daily is in an uptrend, yes. Here's what I'd be looking for on the daily. I would favor the upside here, granted one condition. I want to see the TSI turn back up again. It is going to have one of those very, very nice potential signals forming right here around the zero bias read. Now, I do favor this one just based off of daily trend right here. And if I did have to call it, I do think that it does pop back up to like 90 plus region, short, medium term, but I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, you did say a daily. Yeah, I'd be looking for another move a little bit above $90 and then come back to it after that. I wouldn't feel confident calling like a long-term move on this one. This is this technically is a rising wedge right here, to be fair, but I fucking hate wedges and I don't really think wedges work anyways. Also kind of grinding up against a 200 simple. That's usually going to be a bit of a natural reversal point, but we've already kind of seen that. It's getting reaccumulated already. So short term, medium term up, then I'd want to come back to it after that, to be honest with you. I don't feel confident on the long term there. Miles ML says Bolt USD, Bolt BTC. How about just one, man? How about just one? Both. Sorry, man, but it's like, yeah, yes, same thing so many times. You just, at some point, you lose it, sir. Hey, we got a Shitty Chart of the Day award going to Bolt BTC. Shitcoin police inbound. They are taking this baby away to shitcoin fucking jail. There we go. Locking the doors. Throw away the fucking key and go fuck yourself, Bolt BTC, because you deserve all of these and more. You are the only piece of shit not rallying while the whole goddamn market's rallying. Why trade this garbage? Why? Why? Sir, why? Sir! What the fuck, sir? Look, even this thing's gonna rally. Even this piece of shit's gonna rally. But look, man, it's garbage. It's actual fucking garbage. You don't need to trade this bullshit. You don't need to trade this. You don't need to. Unless if you're being held at gunpoint by some sort of, like, I don't know, Russian hackers who have somehow found your home and they've said, look, bitch, you better trade some Bolt BTC because we need that fucking volumizer to go up again or you're dead. Then I can understand that. But still, you're fucked because this is actual garbage. This is like actual garbage right here. You found an actual garbage chart. So we got the worst chart of the day award going to Bolt BTC so far. I give this one 5 out of 5 red dildos. This one doesn't even get to rally when everything else is fucking rallying. Now, is it, well, technically speaking, it is rallying, but it hasn't reversed any trends or anything like that. And do I have any real reason to believe that this is just not going to be yet again another failed rally? Not really, no. There is nothing at all whatsoever, not even fucking close, bullish to me on this piece of shit chart until this thing gets back above, at the very fucking least, 45.25. As long as it's below there, this is a long-term downtrend. This thing has never known what a fucking uptrend is on a higher term time frame. This is hot fucking garbage, baby. Elsa says I need a carrot. No, bunnies like to fuck, and you gonna be getting jackrabbited later, bitch. No more paper, says Ethereum, Binance, USD daily. Gotcha. I don't think it really matters which exchange we kind of look at on this one. No offense, but yeah, I'd like to go to exchange with a lot of history here. Phoenix would be that one. To me, Ethereum is breaking out right now, man. Taking out that last local high from 14th of March on a daily closure, going to be pretty damn good. Could it have a medium-term move back down to test around that breakout? Yeah, it could very easily do that. I'd imagine that would come back alongside a Bitcoin pullback here too, but naturally speaking, medium and higher term time frame is going to be bullish on this one. I'd still be looking at $2,100 for the next sort of short term resistance. However, that's only relevant for the short term. Ultimately, I do think that this one does take a leg up to about $2,500. That's really where the next major areas of interest are from my count here. Looking at this as an ascending triangle, which I have no real reason to believe that it's not right now, is going to have a measure move somewhere around, about just below $2,500 actually. Volume signature works out on this one as well. Yeah, I do like this signature right here. Looking like continuation, very obviously on a weekly as well. Yeah, I think the breakout is real. Might come back down, test like 1950-ish region, maybe even a little bit lower than that over the weekend, but ultimately kind of hard to be bearish on something like this. Do we even have hidden bullish divergence on the other side? We do not. We do not. Jay Quinn says, will you look at XDI stake? We already looked at that one, and I believe that you asked about that one already. So perhaps I'm missing this one, man. Apologies for that, but if you just rewind a couple of minutes, then it'll definitely be there, and I can assure you that nothing's changed in the last 2 minutes. Or maybe I read that one out of context there. Matthew Stanislaw says, bruh. Ethereum BTC daily weekly. I think I have that one. Yeah, I have that one right here. Daily weekly. Weekly looks just by looking at RSI, I'd be saying that this is very likely a higher low right now. Oh, what do you fucking know? It's a higher low. Probably reversal. Daily. Okay. This is a really classic signature right here. We've seen a few of these actually this week. This one's not as obvious, but you see the green 55 and the purple 200. This is kind of baiting a cross right there, a death cross in this case. And a lot of over-aggressive traders, I imagine, probably did short into this, or prematurely short into this, better said. And when you see it pop back up above this region, above the 200, or sorry, especially above the 55 in this case, as you are getting, I mean, this would be kind of flipping around to bullish once again. That's going to very likely run the other way. You got a lot of people trapped down here below the 200 exponential average. This one very, very likely to move back up to 3.5 million Satoshis. I think that the low on the weekly is very likely in, and I do think that the next move is to the upside, probably on a weekly schedule, like 3.7 million Satoshis, that is. Looks decent enough. What's up, Anthony? DIA USDT Binance, please. All right, DIA USD Binance bullshit. And what do we have? We have well, I guess it's not so much of a shitty chart right here. I was expecting something based off that name, but you know what? It's not. It's actually pretty good here. In fact, this one's getting ready for a bit of price discovery, I believe. Clear breakout, clear uptrend. This one's just continuation. There's no tricks or anything that I have for this one. I suppose maybe we could do a bit of a extension here to kind of judge some areas of interest to the upside. But this, in price discovery, nothing really quote unquote works, if you will. I'd have areas of interest right around about 6.25 to the upside. More medium term, long term would be about 8.25. That is long term though, to be fair. Short term, obviously a range kind of what's called transacting between where we're at right now and like 380-ish region is not out of the question, but ultimately long term, if you are long term, which you did not give a time frame on this, so I don't really know where to go with that. But if you are long term, I think that this one's continuing here very likely. It's 3 p.m. Krown, sir. Actually, it's 6:30 a.m. No, it's not 6:30. It's 8:30 a.m. Sorry, my computer's clock is actually 2 hours behind, which is rather annoying, and I always fuck things up because of that. Fishing with Donnie says 1 hour storage USD for Bitcoin. You pick short term, or Bitcoin. You pick short term. All right. I'll do. Well, I think maybe you want USD a little bit more. I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be a lot better versus USD. As I happen to know that this one is a 2017 shitcoin as well. But could we make another? Well, no, it's already making new all-time highs on a weekly, so probably not going to even be competing for the shitcoin of the week anyways. So you know what? I think shitcoin of the week chart is still, or at least shitcoin of the day chart is still very much secured there. And this one, this one in price discovery as well, similar to the last one that we just looked at. There might be a little bit of short-term downside here and there, but for right now, I would be favoring general upside. I don't have any targets to give on this one. I don't have any areas of interest to give on this one because it's probably already, I'd assume it's already played through, to be honest with you. I'd be looking for some sort of divergence call on like a 4-hour, but you asked about an hourly, so I'm way the hell out, I'm like way far away from what you're asking for. Let's go to an hourly right now. Hourly would actually be a little bit of short-term sideways, maybe even short-term a little bit of downside to like 295 region. Ultimately though, I do favor continuation on this one. This is obvious, uptrend here, and it's in price discovery. So long-term, medium and long-term, I'd have to be bullish on it. Short-term, sideways mostly, within a range between where we're at right now, or sorry, more like 3.25 all the way down to 295 region would be the range. But ultimately, I do think that this one will continue and will very likely make new all-time highs. I'm a real boy, says Abbott. There you go. I've always wanted to say that. Hey, what's up, Kinsa? Krown Ski Buddy Sir, motherfucker. PMed TSX. Okay, PMed TSX. I'm gonna guess that this is some sort of a hospital stock, or is this PubMed? No, Predict Medics. All right. On TSX, actually not on TSX, but I'm guessing this is a Canadian exchange, so it's probably gonna be this if I had to guess. Let's see. Oh, it's pmed.tsx. Let's see if that pops anything up first. Okay, .tsx. No, that's not gonna be it. So I'm guessing it's this ticker, but on a different exchange, different Canadian exchange. Bullish. Everything's fucking bullish. This one breaking above the 200 simple moving average right here on volume. This is a change of behavior. I'd be looking for a move towards 66.5 cent. 66.5 would be where I'm looking towards. I'm riding this to the moon of all moons, or cut loose and put the monies into cryptos instead. This is a clear change of behavior right here, man. This is I'd be favoring the upside if this is what you actually wanted to look at, but I'm not so certain, sir. Lefty Sun, thanks for that, man, but no message. Fair enough. What's up, Smiles for Miles? How you doing, man? I see you over there. Crypto Daniel, there he is as well. Hopium Analysis. Coop says, I'll tell you why, Krown, because of the evil market makers. That's right. They're manipulating everything, and they're the cause of all of your concerns in life. You can always pass off blame to the evil market makers. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. It'll make you feel better. It'll absolutely change nothing in your fucking life, but you shall feel better. And you know what? Feelings are what matter most. No, my paper says Polkadot Binance USD daily. Here we go. .USD. Binance daily. Okay, here we go. And bullish. You don't fucking need me, guys. You don't fucking need me. You're probably even better off not having any education on trading at all at this point. Just keep on fucking aping the green button. No, just kidding. That is a bad joke, a very bad joke. But yeah, I would be bullish on this one to put it bluntly. I know you asked about a daily, but the weekly is the key on this one. This is very likely to print new all-time highs coming in next week. I really, especially with any sort of a weekly close on Sunday above $37, I'd get ready for new all-time highs. On top of that, probably targeting a move. Just looking at the range right here to like 40-ish, or sorry, not 40-ish, but 50-ish would be the next major area of interest. Also a nice round even number, common one across most markets as well. Okay, all right. Okay, we got that. Bert Krem. What's up? Hey, what's up, Junior Riggs? Yeah, man, he's got the Bitcoin over there. We'll be back to that soon enough, my friend. We'll be back to that. There he is. Mimi's that butter my biscuits. Bolt BTC, we bolt fast to the moon through the earth. And by moon, we mean someone's bare ass on the opposite side of the globe. That's exactly fucking right. Just shish kebab the whole goddamn earth until you find someone on the other side. And then you got a nice little popsicle, a red popsicle stick. Now, don't you? Jonathan says, Happy Easter, my man. Hey, happy Easter to you too, and all the celebrators out there. Could you cast your eyes over SNX BTC daily weekly on Altcoin or Kuderp? What is it? SNX? Okay, SNX BTC. Fucking Kuderp. You don't have to trade on the exchange if you don't want to, you know. You probably already know that. Weekly, is it trying to put in a higher low? Well, based off the daily, I'd say yes. I'm going to guess that the daily probably even has some divergences going on at the lows there on extremely low volatility. I have to say that this is probably going to pop back up. 35,750-ish region. Anywhere above 35,700 or even just 35,600 on a daily closure. I'd extend that target significantly. This is, again, this look. What's probably going to happen here, you maintain the uptrend, you do something like this, wedge yourself into an ascending triangle long term, and this probably sets it up for a major breakout. Clearing obvious pivot points on the other side below this week's low at about 30,000 Satoshis even. Ultimately, though, I do think that it's very likely to pop back up here. It's going to follow the rest of the market, and this is starting to make me more and more bullish on altcoin, Bitcoin pairings. This actually is a decent structure right here. Over a long period of time, I should say, too. Quite nice, actually. Very, very nice. Michael says, MediBlock USD. Okay, MediBlock USD 1 hour. Okay. MediBlock. What the fuck? Okay, so this is some sort of a crypto on Trex. On the hourly, you want to look at. Okay, well, daily's the one that's showing you direction right now, but we'll go to the hourly as you requested. I'd be looking for some short-term down, probably some short-term down to like 22 cent, but daily says continuation, man. At least for now. I mean, this is pretty fucking toppy long term, to be honest. I don't think that this one has too much more to go to the upside before playing out like a greater pullback, but short term, I'd be looking for a little bit of downside here. Probably tries another bounce. I don't feel too confident on other than that, though. I do want to say so. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be very helpful on this one. I would generally say it's going to follow the market, but if anything does look toppy, this one could be it. Even maybe has some bearish divergence forming here too. No, well, it depends upon today's closure. Then again, this isn't even a high to begin with, so not really looking for that. But you did ask specifically for an hourly, so hourly I would be looking next short-term move down to the downside. So I do feel like I kind of need to say all those things, but fair enough. Lefty Sun says, yo, Krown, daddy needs new dentures. Can you chart me? Oh, you're a boomer too? Nice. Do you like Alan Watts and Graham Hancock? Because my piece of shit girlfriend doesn't like those very cool things. And she has no culture. Look, these Finnish people, they don't know anything about having style, fashion, culture, and all that good stuff.
Boomers?
No, you guys. I'm just going to pretend that I didn't hear anything back there. Okay, can you chart me long-term centric cash? Okay, I'll just type this one in. Hopefully something comes in. Centric cash? Centric. Okay, so this is this sounds, I'm just judging from the name right now. This is definitely legit as fuck. Versus US dollar. Long-term, you said? All right, we'll go to daily, weekly on this one. Daily's turning the corner. Yep, everything this mark's going up, man. You got to be bullish on just about everything here. What is this? Like a third of a cent? I'd be looking for a third of a cent. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Yeah, weekly about, sorry, maybe a little bit lower than that. Anywhere around here. Yeah, somewhere right under a third of a cent is where I'd be looking for, and then very likely a medium-term pullback from that region. Oh, nice one. Nice one. Dan Henderson, Mr. Henderson. Hello, this is Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist TV. Today we'll be talking about taxes. Can you... I also think that one's so fucking funny because I used to listen to him all the time, trying to figure out my tax situation. As he's actually very helpful, but I would be lying if I didn't say that he's extremely dry. But Dan Henderson is a different person, not the same person, but maybe you guys are related. End this on daily, weekly. Okay, gotcha. End this daily, weekly. NASDAQ. So yeah, you've been on the microvision for quite some time now, haven't you? Looks good to me. I still stick with like, what is this, $25 more long term. And it sounds like you are more long term. Look, daily TSI about to give you a bullish cross, very likely into next week. Any sort of a closure above about 16 and some odd change should probably do it. And we also have hidden bullish divergence on that last low too. Yeah, I do favor short term, medium term, and probably even long term upside on this one. See what the weekly looks like. Is the weekly turning the corner? What sort of, oh wow, yeah, weekly still kind of under pressure here, but you know, we do have a bit of a change of behavior from the volume signature over here. I would have to be short-term, medium-term bullish on this one. Long-term on the weekly, I'm actually not so sure because this one still could get very well go either way, but for now I would favor the upside. Here would be the obvious signal on the weekly. If you see any sort of a weekly closure above like what, 18, what is this area right here, $18.50, I'd be looking at this as a confirmed reversal on the weekly. And likely to move all the way up probably towards like $32-33, somewhere around there. All right, Burnt Creme says, love your last video with Ken and Eric. Krown, excellent info. Awesome, man. Yeah, I got another one coming tonight as well, so definitely stay tuned for that. And oh, I should also let you know, Ken and Eric have their own channel, so if you want to check them out, they're at the Liquidity Zone. They cover traditional markets, so definitely give them a check out. And they also even have like a newsletter for traditional markets as well, if you are interested in such things like that we actually have on the app right now. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Love to know how you all decide which stocks to trade. I mean, I would just trade mostly Microsoft, to be honest with you, because it's nice and slow. It's very easy. But they'll probably have different opinions on that one. All right, Microsoft on daily. Microsoft's bullish as fuck. This one very likely pops back up to the prior all-time high over the next week or two. Probably makes new all-time highs. You asked specifically about a daily. Same shit here too. Popping back above the range. This is a breakout after reaccumulation at this level. Be looking for next week 245, probably beyond. TSI also turning up around the zero read. Yeah, this is very obviously reaccumulation. I would be looking for new all-time highs. Mark Hellas says BNB USD 4-hour target. Cheers, bunny ears. Thanks, man. It also rhymes, so that's cool. BNB, US Derp. Binance, yeah, sure. Binance can be the natural place to be going to. The daily's bullish, 4 hours bullish. This one's a breakout right now. This one's literally breaking out right now. Maybe it's even BNB that's leading the rest of the market. Weeklies, clear new all-time highs. Where the next targets be? Let's see, do I have some on here? Yeah, I actually do. I have this as an ascending triangle, $400 where I'd be looking towards over the next week or two. Uh, it's Jesus Christ. Holy shit, man. He's back. What's up, man? How's God in heaven and all that stuff? It's very good pleasure to meet you. I've been learning about you all my life, and cool, man. Also, sorry about all the masturbations as well. Abbott Dynamics says, Krown, I think I have a worse chart than Bolt YFI BTC on daily Binance. Okay. All right, I'm expecting something pretty shitty here, but you got very staunch competition, my friend. YFI, Bitcoin, Binance. Okay. Oh, motherfucker. We have a descending triangle on the lows. This thing has never even rallied in its whole fucking life. This thing is going to shitcoin jail. I don't know if it's the worst chart of the day though. The other one's worse for a longer period of time, and this one's actually more like this. I don't think it's actually broken to the downside just yet. Probably actually rallies from here, to be honest with you. It probably actually rallies up this level again, but long term, I do think that it will break down. Long term, this is garbage. I mean, they're both pretty garbage, but this one's getting ready for a rally, as is the other one. I mean, everything gets a free choice, a free chance to rally. The main thing is though is that it maintains the long term downtrend. So fair enough. Yeah, pretty shitty right there though. Pretty shitty. Mr. Filson, the Easter Bunny is here, sir. I got your fucking eggs all stored away right now too. Let's see. Rascal77 says, this $5 is for Elsa. What the fuck? No way! Hey, no! Then you have to answer the question. How about that? It's too quiet over there. It's too quiet over there. Elsa, could you claim some spoons? And no. We're not doing. God damn it! She's like scooting around the fucking the apartment right now. Oh, there she goes into the kitchen, and here comes the classic tune from Finland. Yes, this is a great hit from the current era of Finnish music. This one goes cling clang clong. Fucking dumb. Fuck you and your goddamn forks. Hey, what's up? What's up, Bear Nutrition? Hair looks bullish. Yeah, it is a bullish hair day. That is for sure, man. How you doing, my friend? What's up, Brian K? Brian K says CRV USDT Binance 4 hour. I got you, man. I got you. CRV US derp. Binance 4 hour, you said. Okay. Is it a cup and derp? It is a cup and derp, actually. I mean, these sort of things right here, would it traditionally work out as one? Actually, no, but it is a reaccumulation formation. This is my problem with using patterns as like a main edge. You know, it kind of like sidesteps why this shit actually fucking works at the end of the day, and why it's actually working is, I mean, you're just seeing a continuation of trend here is what you're seeing on higher lows. What does that tell you? It tells you that, you know, the buyers of this, the accumulators of this, are getting more and more aggressive. If they're getting more and more aggressive, then it's about to get marked up. I mean, that is how marks typically do work from an operator standpoint, but in this case right here, you know, what I identified as such, it's a reaccumulation. You basically called out a reaccumulation formation. It's the same shit. Is it technically a cup and handle? No, not really, but it is continuation here, and very likely to. I'd probably be looking for new highs on above your February highs actually over the next couple weeks here. All right, cool. We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. Is it time to start to wrap this bitch up? It might just be. This is the music of my people. Mimi's that butter, my biscuit. This is the music of my people. Yes, this is a classic, very respectful tune. Jesus Christ. Oh my Lord. All good, Mr. Brian K. All good, Mr. Brian K. Litecoin Bull says Elsa is a legend. Well, fair enough. Go. Okay, well, she's gonna do a fucking what is it called, encore now. You guys have summoned the encore. This is the special. God damn it, get those forks out of my face. Okay, wow, that was really great. I respect cultures of all shapes and forms, and that was a very culturally enriching sound from the force of Finland called Derp Derp Clack. This is... You know what Elsa was asking me the other day? She was like, do you guys learn how to identify plants in school? And I'm like, what the fuck? No. And she's like, how do you not know how to identify the right mushrooms? Like, I don't know. We don't live in a fucking forest, for one. Like, we have, you know, cement and stuff. Go Lucky says, hi. Happy Easter, everyone. Hey, happy Easter to you too, man. Sir, Krown bro. Sir, Go Lucky, bro. BNB USD 4-hour daily. We already looked at it. It's bullish as fuck. Probably looking at $400 from what I last looked at. Actually, I think this one was breaking out as we checked it. Yeah, 4 hours breakout right now, man. It's looking good. It's looking very good. Mr. Dominican Decomps is here. He is back with the cave. Fucking nice. We can confirm whales are too big to swim through trollinger bands and would choke on volatility. ARB LSE. All right, gotcha, man. So real stock here. Although probably not trading today, as I'd imagine. Man, you love this thing. Whatever this thing is. What is this thing, by the way? It's Argo blockchain. Some sort of a just stack blockchain on the bottom of your name, and you too can be bullish. I'd be bullish on this one, man. TSI very likely to turn back up around the zero read. This is looking very obviously like a bullish reset. I'd be targeting $300 plus again over the next few weeks. It looks good, man. It looks good over a long period of time too. I mean, it's basically this basically looks like a shitcoin chart. So I guess it gets to play with the rest of the crypto market here. Very interesting to see how like everything essentially looks like each other. Matu185 says morning. Check CVC USD. This is Civic. Like you talking about Vinny Longham's shitcoin like from fucking years ago. I thought that this thing has been washed away into obscurity, but apparently not. Still rocking and rolling and actually breaking out right now. Doing all-time highs, price discovery. Holy motherfucking shit. All right, let's come up with some bullshit targets for this one. Actually, not so bad on this one. I would still be looking for a move to about 75 cents, like 3/4. Buying out on daily, asked about it on 22nd of March. Your target of 65 is almost reached now. Yeah, so I'd say 65 cents is probably going to produce a little bit of a short-term pullback after that target is like officially met. But ultimately, man, I do think that this one does head up to about 3/4 and tags the 2.618. The market's getting free rides like all these mega targets right here. So I'd still favor the long-term upside actually. Fishing with Donnie says Litecoin USD 1 to 4 hour, also favorite indicator. What's my favorite indicator? That's a really good question, man. What's my favorite indicator? Look, I feel like such a fucking schlub saying this, but I don't even want to say this because it's gonna come back and bite me in the ass. But it's so fucking silly because like this should not be my favorite indicator at all. But over the last few months, man, Caretaker's RSI has been my favorite indicator because I've actually learned some new things from it, and it's helped me kind of like understand other things better. Now, there's another indicator that Caretaker and I kind of like tangentially are working on right now that I think could potentially have more. It could have more potential. It does have more potential. It does have more potential is what I'm trying to say. But I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it work. It's a little bit. I think it's a little bit too complicated for me to like. I don't know. Caretaker's a magician, so maybe he can figure it out. But like the more and more that I think about it, the more and more that I keep on changing my thoughts on it. It's like we keep on coming up with someone, but I want it to be something very specific, and I'm hoping that we can make it be that, because that would probably be some of the best work of my life if we can actually do that. But anyways, what would be my favorite indicator if I didn't have to choose that? Moving averages, just because I've had the most experience with them, and I think it's just the easiest way to trade for a long period of time, especially if you're looking at like long-term trends, which is actually kind of what I've switched over to over the last year or so. Anyways, looking at this right here from the 1 to 4 hour, clear and obvious reaccumulation. You see an ascending triangle here once again. You see a nice ceiling at about 230-ish region. You see a nice rising lows coming in from this region over here, and I'd generally be favoring the upside throughout this, but even short term, I'll be favoring the upside right here too. You have that same sort of interplay that we identified on Ethereum with the bullshit death cross getting thrown into a golden cross right here. And this is a really good example of a golden cross. So many people have no fucking idea on how to actually trade moving average crosses. A lot of people just think that, oh, it's crossed, I short right here. No, you're gonna get fucked up. And there are bots and algos that are designed to get you onto the wrong side of the trade by being over aggressive with that. And it's actually really funny. I saw like this very knowledgeable or somewhat knowledgeable, though someone recently has kind of raised suspicions that he's a massive charlatan, talk about how moving average crosses don't work, and then he presented the data from doctor data, and it's like, this is the most bullshit thing I've ever seen. It's like, if you play a cross like that, no shit, it's not going to work. That's not how it's meant to be played. This cross over here is actually perfect right here on a 4 hour golden cross. You see how price action is pulled into it as it crosses, and you see all this accumulation of all major moving averages within this region on top of that. That's what you're looking for. This one's likely to play. If you look at this as like playable, if you're like looking at this to have any real result, you're gonna get fucked. I mean, that's the whole way that these things are designed to like completely get you on the wrong side. This over here is actually the right one. Anyways, I would be looking for this one to I'd be looking for this one to pop back up to like 220 to 230ish region, probably even break out over the long period of time, which you didn't ask for. But I mean, look, it's just general uptrend, man. The whole market gets to go up right now. The whole market essentially gets to go up. It is a humongous warning signal if your shitcoin is not going up right now. Eric Greco says, Yustapai, Koi Montana, Yokana. I think Kana is chicken. I at least know that one. Can you read this silly Finnish over here? I don't speak this. All right, where is it? Hold on, let me find it again. Where the fuck did it go? Hey, where actually did it go? Did I just... Oh, there it is. Yeah, from Eric Greco. You see that? Can you say it into the microphone?
Juosta pää kolmantena jalkana.
What the fuck is that? Running with the three... I don't know what the hell that means. Finnish people have all the weirdest sayings. SX Hammer says MMEDF stock. Okay, no time frame given, however, so I am going to default to the daily weekly on this one. Mind Medicine. All right, trades OTC, so it's kind of like shitcoin bullshit, but not a bad chart, at least for the history that we do have. Daily did kind of end on a sour note on Thursday closure, but I do favor the weekly here. Generally speaking, I'm going to be looking for this one to pop back up to like 3.5 over time. Not a whole hell of a lot of history, to be fair, but at least for the history that we do have, and it has been in an uptrend, it does trade OTC, so I'm always going to be a little bit skeptical of these things. But fair enough. Okay, I think I do want to start to wrap this bitch up right now. Smiles from Out asks, which county is in Ireland is caretaker from? I don't know. I also know that he doesn't really live in Ireland right now either. But I don't want to dox him if he doesn't want to be doxed. But he's probably sleeping right now. He's probably sleeping right now. If anything, man, he's the opposite of me. He's like a fucking night owl, and he'll be like going to sleep by the time that I wake up. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Go to sleep, dude. Anyways, Nero Strutton. All right, last one. Bruh, Krown, bruh. Can we check out your favorite shitcoin, BAT USD? Sure. We got BAT bullshit USD on Binance. This one's probably gonna be rallying too. Hey, look at that. Not bad at all. Looking at a weekly. Actually, this one's in price discovery as well. I'd have to be favoring New all-time highs coming in next week too. You have a very clear pivot point on this one as well. Below last week's low, that is, and that would be about 90 cents. I'm bullish on all higher term timeframes as long as that condition is not met. Daily is very obviously continuation right here too. I shouldn't say very obviously, but very likely. I'd be looking for this one to retest the prior high of like 140 and probably make new all-time highs on top of that. Tentative targets would be 1.25, 195 or 95. Probably like $1.50 region. Bro, you're looking yoked. You look like an extra on Spartacus. Actually, man, I've been rewatching Spartacus and I fucking love that show, man. And unfortunately, Elsa does not appreciate anything that's cool in life, so she does not like it. And then I have to watch it by myself, and it's actually quite soothing. Thanks, man. I appreciate that though. Unbanned Flaming Fire, please, sir. I don't know. What did you do to get banned, man? If one of the mods banned you, that's usually not a good sign, man. I quite trust my mods, so I think I think I'll let them decide for themselves. If they banned you, then you can take it up with them, sir. Those bunny ears, he says Hosei fam. All right, let's wrap this bitch up, sirs and zers. Fucking hell, am I gonna do the whole long-term analysis on this bullshit again? Oh boy. All right. Bitcoin on the monthly once again closed above the topside Toronto band for the 6th month in a row. Now working on month number 7, which does imply a range between the topside Toronto band and very likely new all-time highs will be the buys for the next month or two to come, especially when we look at the quarterly, which also did the same thing, and I would essentially be bullish for new all-time highs very likely over the next few months essentially. On top of that, we do see the accumulation distribution indicator can maintain its positive curvature here, which does enhance the bullish bulls, as this has been getting all of the macro reversals on Bitcoin since the dawn of time, or at least for the recorded history that we have of this indicator, on all slope changes, judging some of the major pullbacks and in dump dildos as well. Top of that, we do see that monthly Stokes still remain to the upside, although very aggressive right there. DMI plus dominant, and ADX still strengthening. MACD histogram still increasing momentum, even though this rally is fucking crazy, still maintains. And same thing on the quarterly as well. Same thing with actually quarterly Stokes should be sort of denoted here. We do see it's getting into the bullish control zone for the first time since January 2017. That was actually precipitating this last run on the last closure above the topside Toronto band right here on the quarterly from about $1,000 all the way to $20,000 high. On top of that, if we go over to the daily, we will see that daily DMI plus is once again seeing a dominant DMI plus signal, plus 88 strengthening, very similar to this signature over here, very similar to this signature over here, very similar to this signature over here, and even over here. And guess what? If we look at price action, that's this pump, 30%. That's this pump, 100% actually. That's this pump, another 100% actually. That's this pump, another, I think 30%. That's this pump, another 20% over here. And just happening alongside a bullish crash on MACD as well, which is accompanied by a breakage of the medium-term time frame range to the, actually even high-term time frame upside range here. This is also further enhanced by, of course, our CME chart, which does still see that that daily stokes here are getting in the bullish control zone for the first time in a while. And on top of that, we do see the same interplays with the DMI plus and of course MACD here as well. And on top of that, we do even have a bit of an ascending triangle, which does have a measure move pointed up all the way towards the 3.618 Fibonacci extension, which is a bit of a good confluence right there, which is right below $70,000 with an area of interest along the way at the 3 spot at around $63,000. With that in mind, if we go back down here to our lower term timeframes, following up on the inverted head and shoulders that we identified about a week and a half ago, that still does have a measure move up here all the way to about $62,000. What have we said? If you are a pattern trader, then the right way to be trading a pattern like this is that you look at the trend on that time frame to kind of judge if this is still likely to continue or not. And in this case right here, as long as it is maintaining the uptrend, I look for the full-on measure move target to be hit before an actual short-term reversal. And in this case right here, we still have that condition be met. First off, getting the breakout right here, boom, move that point up to the last local low right here. That condition was met. Then move it up to $58,000, and now we can move up to $58,500 right here. So as long as Bitcoin's above there, I am not bearish on pretty much any time frame. That would also imply any sort of a 2-hour or 4-hour total closure below this region, 58,500. I would look for a greater pullback, very likely fill back down to wherever the topside Toronto band is on the monthly. And satisfy that condition. But for now, as long as everything is kind of meeting these current conditions, I do look for Bitcoin to continue with the current upside posturing, especially over a holiday weekend, as we do see hidden bullish divergence plus of extremely low HVP down here on pretty much all time frames, actually 4-hour, 3-hour, bi-hourly, and hourly. And we could go to the medium-term time frames right here, same shit, getting back to the bullish control zone on 12-hour RSI plus TSI also. Just maintaining its bullish posturing as well. Daily, same shit. Actually, even precipitating all of the earlier momentum crosses just 3 to 4 days ago. And daily RSI playing out that same hidden bullish divergence right here, 2-day and 3-day and 5-day as well. So pretty much everything working with each other. Am I bullish here? Yeah, I am bullish here. Do I think Bitcoin could easily have a pullback down to like $55,000? Yes, but only if 58,500 breaks first. Until then, I'm bullish on all time frames, looking for the deeper targets get hit, and then we'll come back a little bit later and reanalysize this. So with that said, I would like to wish you the best and the happiest. Take care and see you